I've realized walking across hot coals, I realized the core is radical self-acceptance. Once you truly embrace and accept yourself exactly you are as you are in this moment, being authentic, being vulnerable, having the confidence to make mistakes, try things and they don't always work out, like it's the key to so much.
That right there, that my lightning bolt just went
Right?
off. I was like, that's it right
Me
there, Heather.
too.
Welcome back to another edition of the Pear Genius Podcast. I am your host, Alex, joined by the wonderfully talented and scrumptious Kati Pauls, my other perfect pair of genius. And of course, we have the Heather Schmidt returning. And Heather, you are just one of our favorite people to work with and be friends with and meet in person. And I hope that you come visit us soon. And welcome back to another edition with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Heather is kicking off season 2 of the Pear Genius Podcast, where we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be getting a little bit more into who you are, the brand. You are the brand, and getting it out. Kati's going to wrap it up a little bit better for me, but that's kind of what we want for season 2, a little bit more intention going that direction.
Yeah,
Fix my words for me, my dear.
I feel like season 2 sounds so fun. It's going to be focused definitely on branding, and I feel like right now I'm bringing forth a new definition of what branding is, because what branding is no longer serving soul-led entrepreneurs. It's totally different. So I'm feeling it more in terms of energetics and the emotions of the brand. That's going to be first and foremost. The logo is kind of taking a back. The logo did a lot of heavy lifting before, but I feel like it's the energy and the feelings of your brand now that are going to be more important than anything else. So it's actually really good that we're having this rebrand discussion, although I don't know if I'm going to call it a rebrand because that implies like a total overhaul, more of a brand refinement. Now we're going to dial in to where you're being called. I want to find out where the brand is not supporting you anymore and where we can bring in new things. So why don't you tell us where you're going?
Yeah. Well, I wish I knew where I was going. So I feel like my vision is very firmly planted in a snow globe that has been shaken up. So it's there, but it's a little fuzzy. So as the snow settles, I'll start to see it more. In the past, maybe it's easier to talk about where I've been. Yeah. In the past, I'm realizing how much my identity was helping distressed homeowners. And while it's a passion project for mine, because I've been there and I love it, I love being able to help people. The way it has shifted over the past few years, it's getting harder and harder to connect with homeowners in time. I'm finding that homeowners reach out when it's too late and it's last minute and I don't have enough time to help them. And I'm all about win-wins, and I feel like I'm creating a lose by getting connected so late in their journey that I'm not in a position to help them. And energetically, if we go back to the energetics, it's heavy and it's really low vibe. So I started thinking about, if I'm not focusing on that, let me add, I will continue teaching agents that. So I'm going to continue training. I want there to be people ready to serve homeowners when they're ready. When they're ready to raise their hand, I want somebody there. So I want to empower other agents that want to build their business model that way. So if the marketing to homeowners is off my plate and those activities are off my plate, it leaves a lot of space and it leaves an empty leg in my business plan. And what do I want to fill that with? And I realized over the past few months, I'm getting more and more sellers coming to me that are similar age as me. They've had kids that are grown. They've had years of collecting things in their house, and they want to move, but because of social media and all of the Insta-worthy reels, the perception is that the home has to be completely made over and staged and ready for buyers to walk in at any moment. And that's not realistic for everyone. And as I'm helping more and more sellers in this position, I realize I'm being shown what my next path is. So that's where I want to go deep into helping sellers that, what's my little, oh, wait, I have 3 different titles for my e-guide that I'm working on. So it's, you can sell how to sell your home without an HGT makeover.
I love
So
that.
that's, and I know that my future includes training and some coaching and speaking. So if I'm going to be tweaking things with my new messaging, this is where it's the time to do a brand refresh to encompass all of those things.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that it's a brand refresh. And I like what you were saying about how you're kind of attracting people in a similar category as you, same age, kids who have grown. I like that a lot. And I feel like the whole HGTV culture, which we started buying homes when HGTV became a thing, and it was like, well, I'm not buying a home unless Mike Holmes comes and says that everything has been built exactly right, or this other, the whole makeover thing. And I feel like that's such a beautiful metaphor for where we are in our life. We're midlife, and we're realizing we don't have to be perfect to show up anymore. So why should our homes have to be perfect? Our homes are this beautiful expression of our lives, the things that we've built. It's sacred space. When HGTV comes in, they make it sterile. They take all the love, all the heart out of it, So maybe there's a new way of selling. Maybe there's a new way of buying, and I love that you're pioneering that.
Thank you. And it is such a parallel with my journey. Like, to be on stage, I don't have to look perfect and I don't have to be the perfect speaker and eloquent. And it's really, how do I make the most and fully embrace me as I am today? And how do we make the most of the house that has served you well? And it's time for a new homeowner.
You're really a good example of somebody who has pure authenticity in their brand, because you show up exactly as you are and you invite space for people to do the same when they step into that energy. You are in resonance. And I think that your brand does a good job of showing up to support that resonance. Like your brand colors are beautiful gem tones, and the graphics, they're so holistic. So this was another thing that I wanted to ask you. The word holistic is kind of one of your brand words. Does it still resonate for the new brand?
Yes and no. I feel I used to be really attached to it. And now if it's not part of it, I'm okay. I think it's still me. I'm still holistic. It's still body, mind, spirit. There's still the energy both in the home and the journey. So it absolutely applies. Does it need to be literally in it? I'm not tied to it.
Gotcha. And it makes sense because your supporting graphics are more of the holistic pieces. So they're kind of in the background. It's not your face. I think that some of the photos might need to be updated because we do have a lot of your energy work photos in there. Now we can bring in some more, I don't want to say professional because we don't want to lose who you actually are. But if we're going to position you now as a speaker and a coach and a trainer, we might have to adjust a little bit of the photography.
Yes.
I wanted to just quickly chime in here and say that kudos to Heather for recognizing the things that she loved, but now they were draining your energy. That, to me, that's very powerful because so many people hang on for dear life for that thing that they love the most, and they ignore the fact that it's draining them. And I think that's huge that you recognize that and realize that you need to be able to help in a different way, because there is some kind of timing is everything, right? Especially with real estate. You plant seeds, you kind of have to know people before they're even ready to sell, because by the time they're always going to look for somebody that they know already.
Yes.
I think so anyway. But the odd time somebody will just randomly Rolodex a real estate agent. But it's always good to have somebody that you know of. And yeah, I think that your brand is definitely completely different than anybody else. So I love that, but I love the fact that you're recognizing what is not serving when it is too late for people, which is unfortunate.
And a huge piece of that was realizing how much I had my identity and my value as an agent tied up in short sales and foreclosures. I've been doing it for so long. I'm so good at it. Who am I if I step away from this segment? Who am I? What value do I have to someone? How do I demonstrate my worth? So there was a lot of realizing, there was a lot of exploration of I am very tied to this. It is my crutch. And I had to sit with, I've been doing this for 18 years. I have a lot of value to share. I know what I'm doing and I'm a good agent. And it's awkward for me to say that. Like that standing in my power, it's new. And I just recognized that I had to really, help with the words.
Yeah, I was going to say that so many of us live with imposter syndrome for so long. When we
Yeah.
finally realize we're not imposters, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I am for real.
Right.
But
I am 100% not an imposter in the short sale foreclosure world. I teach it. I lived it. I've lived both sides. I lost my house. That's why it's my passion project. Like that is my like core genius knowledge. And I feel, well, now that I'm saying that, I realize how much I have not allowed myself to shine in other areas because I was holding on to that space and keeping myself in
Yes.
that arena.
Right. And instead of helping one person at a time, you teaching this to a whole group of other people. Now, all of a sudden, the collective becomes so much larger of the people you're helping. So you're not abandoning the foreclosure, you're expanding your reach of it.
And my value add to that specifically, there are a lot of really good courses out there that have great information. I don't know of one that focuses on the seller mindset, on the mindset, well, not seller, but the homeowner mindset, the shame and the embarrassment and the denial. And there's a lot of information being withheld and not shared openly, and not because they're deceitful, but because of the level of shame. And having lived it, I understand it. So, and when I teach it, that's a lot of my focus is understanding the seller mindset and how to be compassionate and understanding.
I was just about to say compassionate because so much of your brand is heart centered and heart forward. So I think that actually it's a kind of a trend I've noticed in the past couple of months, I would say, as I've been coming into this new energy of the brand, is that people are who are able to bring in compassion and empathy. Now we're tying into the deepest, most beautiful emotions. Like you cannot get deeper than compassion. That really is everything, right? Like, I mean, if you can have compassion for another human being, the level of connection that you're creating is so pure and so in resonance. So that was one of my questions for you is that even if we're going to reposition you a little bit and restructure the website, are we still heart forward?
Absolutely. Because even if you have your dream job in your dream town and your entire family is moving with you, and if you have a pro and con list of selling your house and relocating, and there's 100 items on the pro list and very few things on the con list, there's still a sadness. There's still some grieving. I go back to the hierarchy of needs, and shelter is our basic need. And so our house is our safety. And there's a connection there, that energetic emotional connection. And there's a exercise that I do, and I haven't publicized it, and I'm going to publicize it. And it's about walking through your house and honoring your house and being in a space to cut cords and energetically allow the house to welcome a new owner. Because
I
there
like
is,
that.
there's a lot of that sentimental value or that connection. So I
Oof.
still want to be compassionate and understanding that, yes, there's everything, the numbers work and you're following your dreams, and there's still a little bit of sadness leaving a space that has housed you.
You are really pioneering a new way for realtors to exist and to serve and to be, because it's not just so much of the it was just this crazy like explosion of real estate agents all of a sudden, and it was like just buy and sell, just do it quickly and let's make lots of money. And I feel like there's this new piece coming in where it's really more about the mindset and the way the person is feeling, and there's more connection involved now. And you're like pioneering this, which is so exciting. So the tagline, love your home, heart and soul. How does that fit with the new iteration?
I love the soul piece. I love the play on it. Again, I'm at this beautiful space where I have no attachment. If it makes sense to use it moving forward, I'm all in. If it doesn't, I'm open to possibilities and know that there's a whole new path in front of me that, again, I can't even see. The snow is all shaken up. So whatever it winds up being is. I've thought about the logo. I realize I'm incredibly attached to that beautiful logo. And I think that
Yes.
still works. Because even if we're talking about if I'm on stage and I'm coaching or I'm training, speaking, there's always the piece about authenticity and having the door in the lotus, like being vulnerable and opening up. I think that translates across all segments. So that is the one thing that I really would be sad if we got rid of that. But everything else is whatever lands.
Wow, you are really in the flow. Very like very, I want to say like you have room to grow. Like you've made the space and I can feel the release of control over so many things. But I think you're right about the logo. Definitely leave it. It's an invitation in any space that you're in, whether it's speaking or selling or anything. So the logo is beautiful as is. I still love your home, heart, and soul because I think it works on so many levels. What do you think, dear, knowing like all the new services she might be offering? What do you think about the logo? I mean, the tagline.
See, I like the tagline, and the thing that came into my mind while you guys were talking was I was picturing people inviting Heather into their home and they're getting ready to sell it. And what Heather was saying was there's a shame element, but at the same time, it's their safe place. It's got to be some kind of a reflection of what's going on inside of them if they're feeling a shame. And I think that something that's so important for those people when they invite Heather in is to know that there is no judgment, that it's this loving person that's going to come in and help them almost psychologically get rid of that shame and know that their space is sacred and there's nothing to be ashamed of, and to have that rite of passage where let's cut the cords and it's time to move on. Heather, you are encapsulating so many amazing things.
There's so much correlation. Like I've gained weight and I'm really working on accepting my body. My body has served me well, regardless of the size. And your home has served you well, regardless on if the carpet is stained or not. That's not the obstacle to somebody coming in and buying your house. How do we position your house with the stained carpet? It's fine. We sell houses all day long with needs paint, needs carpet. Like that full acceptance and loving the flaws is such a parallel with where I am with myself.
Yes, and I think it translates well to the buyer as well. If you can create a group of real estate agents who can take somebody through the house, like the buyer through the house, and explain it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to come in and make it your own anyway. You know, like to shape the story. You want to create a group of storytellers who are able to, how do we connect through other people? By storytelling.
And with buyers, it goes back to the compassion and understanding. And this is where I've struggled to quantify how I work because part of it is intuition, part of it is just my human nature. But the Buyers start with a checklist and it's so misleading. I always use the example of a home office. If a buyer tells me they want a home office, I need more information. Can it be a bedroom? Do you want it on the first floor? Are you going to have outside visitors come or you want it close to a door? Can it be in the basement? What does home office mean to you? Do you want it by the family so you can manage the household? Do you need it completely separate so you're not distracted? So I hear a lot around the office, frustrated agents because they keep showing houses and it's not the one. And I always ask, what questions are you asking them? You tell me you want 3 bedrooms and I've shown you a 3-bedroom. What about this doesn't work? What would make this work for you? So really asking the questions that the buyers don't even know they need to share that information. So that's, like, again, the compassion, the understanding, and really guiding them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say there's so much intuition and wisdom and experience all mixed in. So that's another thing that makes you very valuable to people as you're mentoring them and training them, because that's basically the only way you can quickly get wisdom is learning from someone who's been through it. And the fact that you're leading with intuition's not something that you can teach, though.
No.
But if you can teach them techniques to help them, everyone has intuition. If they can recognize their own superpowers and their own things, maybe that's another cool angle for you to explore as well.
Right. It's not about teaching intuition. It's about creating a space where people are aware of their own intuition and trust it. We all have that gut feeling or that thought in our head or whatever it is. We all have intuition. A lot of people are taught to dismiss it. So how do you lean into it?
Yep, for sure. I think that we need to also think about your audience, because now that your reach is going to expand, you are in this beautiful space of expansion. So we are inviting in different audiences. Now, this adds a next layer of complexity to the brand because we have to make sure that our messaging hits all people who land on the website. So now the homepage becomes very important in that it turns into a hub. And it has to be a container for all these different things. So your audience is still possibly a home buyer, a home seller, but also other real estate agents and maybe larger organizations who have multiple real estate agencies under them who want to have an event where you come to speak at. So let's talk about the audiences so that I can get very dialed in.
Okay. For agents, I see 2 different avatars. One is a newer agent who is still learning, and this will resonate with them and they want to learn more.
Because they're looking for guidance.
Yes. And they're looking for their niche. Like, what do you want to focus on? You can't do all the things. So if this resonates with a new agent, happy to pour into them and help them. And then the second agent is someone who has been in the business for a while and may feel either stale or their business isn't where they wanted it to be, and they know that they need to do some sort of shift pivot in their business. As the market changes, we have to change our market.
I like that agent because I feel like that agent is probably using their intuition to feel that people are changing, like people as a whole are changing, which is going to require a new approach to buying and selling.
Yes.
All right. So 2 different avatars of agents. What do you think, dear?
Yeah, I keep going back into this home. I just keep imagining this home with these people there and they're inviting. So obviously, Heather breaking down this barrier and making it feel safe for these sellers, knowing what I like about you, Heather, is I know that when you walk through the door, there is this confidence and there's this warmth and kindness. And that you need to lean into that when people are, once you get through that door, you already won. That's the hard part, is being invited into someone's shame. And if they trust you enough to do that, then you're already theirs. You are their person. That's going to help them realize that it's okay. Like, none of this is too bad. You rent a box and you just put a bunch of your extra stuff in it. Done. You clean a few things. Like, maybe not everybody is great at maintenance. And it's funny, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm focusing a lot on myself, and doing that, I'm actually doing a lot of maintenance on the home because I'm spending time with myself, and I'm going around, and like, our house is nice, and but it's not nice because it's just magically is nice. We do a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
So maybe something's a little bit neglected, and that's okay. Not everybody's a super handy person. Maybe not everybody wants to spend a lot of time on maintenance at that time. But if they trust you to come in, and you can kind of wave your magic wand and provide, like, knowing that they don't have to do everything, that you can actually have special people in your pocket that can help with certain things because of all of your experience and all of your contacts. All of those things are extremely valuable for them to lean into. And yeah, I just think that there's just so much opportunity for you to be that trusted source, that trusted guiding light.
I think so. And it is exciting, 18 years in, to feel this complete like resurgence of energy and a new focus.
And
Yeah.
this resurgence of energy, you're not keeping it for yourself. You've become this person, this beautiful woman who now is just like, I'm sharing it far and wide. It's not even just for just a few, it's for many, you know? So I think that the languaging on the homepage needs to have an element of invitation for sure, and the warmth, because that's who you are, but also the authenticity. We want to make sure that we're not selling fluff. This is not a fluff space. This is, you know, I am here to initiate you into the new role of real estate agent.
Yeah.
Right? There's a big initiatory fire that goes along with this. So,
and we keep hearing that we are shifting to a skill-based market. And what that means is 3, 4, 5 years ago, you had your real estate license, you had somebody who wanted to work with you, you had a closing. And now there are markets that the number of listings available are 10% of what they were 1 or 2 years ago. 10%. Like, that's
Oh,
how
wow.
much we're shrinking. So there's enough pie for everyone. That pie is getting incredibly small. And we've got to be skill-based. We have to have skills and be really able to serve our clients.
and not just skills, but human skills, because everybody has access to AI now, and they're prompting God knows what. But the fact that you're bringing so much of the human forward, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
I feel that a huge part for Heather too is when she goes in there and is helping these people sell their home, that they're not overwhelmed. If Heather just said, "Hey, you got to do this and this," and then walks out the door, I mean, that's where paralysis can kick in too. But like I said, with all your wisdom, with all of your experience and contacts, those people are never left just holding the bag. And because that's where paralysis, they might even decide not to sell the home because of that. But if you have all these people and checklists in place, like a system where they feel totally taken care of, that it's a process, and that they can handle what they can handle, and whatever they can't, somebody else can. And I think that's incredibly important.
And an explanation of why things are important versus just, here's everything you have to do. I'm just going to come in with a stager. We're going to paint, and we're going to do floor, and we're going to do all of this, and we're going to bring in new furniture. That is the message you're sending, is that your home isn't good enough, and I don't want anyone to have that feeling.
Right. I mean, priorities, and not every single thing has to be maximum priority to sell a home.
Right.
It could be the smallest thing, but that would be the maximum. And the biggest thing, that could be for the next person to deal with. Oh, your basement's not finished? That's okay. The next person can finish it, and they can do it the way they want to. But hey, that carpet in that bedroom, that's got to go. Well, okay. Well, that's not the end of the world if a carpet has to go, or if you got to paint a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we bring it back to the agents, I'm still working with
Yes.
within the audience of the agents.
Yeah.
When they come to you, when you are sitting and you all of a sudden get a message that there's this real estate agent who has heard what you've said, that somehow they've come across your message and they want to know more about you, how does that feel in you, the energy of that?
Huh. I think it's just a very calm feeling that I have information to share and to help them.
and it feels light and
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
so what about a homeowner that comes to you because they have found your website, they want to sell, they're not sure? Is it the same energy as if an agent approaches you for help?
Yes. With a homeowner, with the appointments I've had just in the past few months, the overall theme is relief. I can't believe I'm letting you in my house right now. We can do this. We can absolutely sell this without this huge checklist. Like the relief and empowering and helping them, again, that heaviness, like me holding on to a segment of my business that no longer serves me. How many homeowners are staying in their house because they think they have to spend tons of money, or they're just plain embarrassed having anybody walk in? Are there people that really want to sell that are paralyzed because of what they think others are going to think or the list of things they have to do?
So you're showing up as you're talking about it, I'm getting this feeling of you are really there to support them, to see them, and it's very earthy, this feeling. Is there something in your life right now that's doing that for you? Are you doing this for you? Are you having outside support? Like what? Because I know everything is parallel. So
The parallel for me is the fully accepting myself and stepping into my power, like acknowledging the gifts that I have and the talent that I have, like stepping into that space and sharing it.
And that comes with extreme vulnerability. You are allowing yourself to be so vulnerable. And right there is the support for the other people who are experiencing the same things, that you fully embrace vulnerability.
Yes, I am comfortable being uncomfortable, being vulnerable, being raw, being a complete shit show in front of people. I did a fire walk 2.5 weeks ago that was really amazing and life-changing. There's been a huge shift since then. Yeah, and seeing how I don't show up for myself. That's what I saw at the fire walk, and how when I show up differently for me, everything changes.
Wow. I love
That's
that.
important. Yeah.
As you were talking about the homeowners who still come to you, because I was trying to see, are we going to kind of drop off with the homeowners? But I can't do it because the way you reacted to that versus me asking you if an agent comes to you, very different. There's
Yeah,
so much more
and
heart there.
and I think what's different is I've been in a training role with agents for 2.5 years. So I'm already in a space where I'm sharing and training and helping and lifting them up. So I've already been doing that. This is now new information I have for them. So I think that's the difference. Where with the agents, I get calls all the time with whatever it may be, the technology or again, distressed properties. I've already been doing that. So that's where it's like, it just feels good. And I feel like I've already been doing that. And it's just one more piece to add, one more tool in my toolbox for agents. With homeowners, truly feeling like I have something to offer them is new. So that's where it's exciting and like this new energy around it.
Yes. And with each interaction that you have, there is always a lesson in it for you, and it adds to you, and you're just taking in all this energy and light from them. So it's so important not to lose that, because it just becomes part of your experience and part of what you're able then to offer back out to other people.
Yeah, and they're going to feel that excitement and opportunity. To me, the word opportunity just keeps coming up as we deprogram from HGTV, where you walk in and everybody's like, nope, garbage, walk right out the door. It's like, no, you have to be able to see past the facade and see the opportunity and feel that excitement and love in the potential in the home.
And part of the awareness also this comes with experience, is taking a buyer through a house that has just fully been painted top to bottom and brand new carpet. And they're like, well, that was a waste of money. I have my own colors picked out and I want hard surface flooring because I have allergies. So when we're encouraging sellers to spend significant dollars if the buyer doesn't resonate with those choices, that money was not, you're not going to get a good ROI on that. So that's another reason that is this always the best thing? Yeah, it looks pretty. And I think a lot of it is agents want content for social media. They want the pretty pictures. They want that perfect life. They want the Insta worthy, all of the above. And it comes back to me like, that's not who I am as an agent. That's not who I am as a person. I'm not all about just appearance and shiny and perfect. And, I'm raw and everyday and casual and like, yeah.
I love that you can call bullshit on all of that, right? Like, that's perfect.
Yeah, when an agent says, I do 5 promotional videos for your property, it's not to sell your house, it's to promote the agent.
Oh, man.
It's funny because we watch YouTube every Sunday. We watch these tours and the houses are, but it's funny. Everybody has a style, right? There's some big houses and me and Katya are just looking at it like, oh my goodness, like how is this $5 million? It's just drywall and paint. There's nothing special to it.
Right.
And yeah, so it's interesting when you're looking at different places and when you're at different places in your life as well. Being new to the market, being a new homeowner, is that maybe more of your target, like new people coming into the market, or would it be somebody a little bit more wise like us?
I don't think it's a demographic, more of a sociographic or a psychographic. What do they call that? It's more, I want to be Sherpa. I just want to be the guide. So I do a lot of first time buyers who are inexperienced, and I shouldn't say inexperienced. First time buyers, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And I hear a lot like, oh, well, I'm sorry to ask this question. No, please ask. That's what I'm here for. I want you to ask. You're not supposed to know. So there's the first time buyers and first time sellers, because if you haven't ever sold, you don't know, same thing. And then it's also, so if we look at my audience for home sellers, I get 2 very clear pictures. One is like retirees, or I don't even want to make it retirees. I want to make it, my picture is people who have lived in their home for a long time. It is a very well lived, well loved house. And they may have stopped noticing the chips in the paint or the stains or whatever. And I'm here to help them see that so that we can present it the best. And then I also keep seeing a family with young kids and where you just don't have the time or the energy.
Been there.
Right. Kids are exhausting. And maybe because I have a front row seat with my grandkids, like I'm so aware of the time and what it takes right now. And a couple of my sellers right now have young kids. So just being very aware of, you don't have time. And, if we're talking major renos in a property, where are you going to live? You still have to be there and the kids are there and you don't want the construction and the dust and everything else. So how do we make it still a livable space while we're getting ready to go on the market?
Wow. Yep. And love your home, heart, and soul still works for that really well. So I have the agents, the homeowners. Am I missing anybody else for your audience? Let's talk about the people who want to hire you as a speaker.
Yeah.
Who are they?
That's a good question. Who are they? Where do I go tap in and find them? I see 2 avatars for that. One will be real estate offices, and it'll be a combination of either just sharing my marketing plan, like this is what I do, and sharing that with people, or how do you tap into your authentic self and use that as your marketing? I spent so much of my career replicating what other people did, but it wasn't authentic to me and it fell flat, more than flat. Like I was putting on a mask every day and people around me could sense that. And I wasn't making authentic connections and I didn't have a successful business. So It's not about what other people are doing. It's about finding what brings you joy and how do you bring that to your business.
I think on our last episode, didn't we talk about how you're an introvert?
I am.
And so it's really interesting how, I mean, you got to go out and you got to do your extrovert thing, but then when you really got to come back and recharge. But that's okay because it's kind of neat to embrace the introvert and then go on stage for a little bit and let the world see you shine and then do that. So I like that vision of you in bursts being the best Heather possible before you have to go in and just,
Cocoon.
recharge.
Then I have to cocoon to recharge. Yep.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
do you have a specific element that you heal in?
Nature.
So
When the
I'm
sun
gonna
is
call that.
shining when the sun is shining and I can be outside, it is wonderful. Chicago in the winter or, our spring and fall storms, it's hard, it's challenging.
I would say that a soul-led entrepreneur really needs to dial into the element that they heal the best in. Because while it's easier to do the service from a place of resonance because you don't leak as much energy, you still do leak a little bit of energy. Like you're exerting. So
Oh,
if you can
absolutely.
dial into the element that you can recharge in, like for me, it's the wind. If I can get my body into the wind,
Really?
and that's why I sleep with the window open because the wind recharges me. And for Alex, it's water. He needs to be in water to get the
It-
inspiration.
If so, more because water is not an option all the time for me. I take nature or earth, but water, if I being on the water or in the water, I don't even have to be in it. Just being on a boat and just out and I'm ecstatic. I'm at peace.
So, and that might explain all the blue I always see around you. You're wearing
Oh,
blue, or there's blue curtains around you. And I'm like, wonder if she knows.
oh, I'm absolutely a water baby. Growing up, I would be at the pool waiting for it to open, and I would stay there till they closed. I would burn, I'd be miserable in the sun, but I had to be in the pool.
I was telling Katya
So,
that I need to do a deprivation float one of these days because as it is, when I'm in the shower, I just let the water run on me and I can stand there for like 10 minutes and I can make so many inventions. I can
have you
fix so many
have
problems.
you done a float tank?
I haven't yet. No,
Oh,
I'll do it for my birthday
oh,
probably.
okay.
Have you
That's
done it?
anxiety for me. Yes. And I know I have
Oh,
claustrophobia and I
Oh,
oh,
me
have
too.
had
I
past
don't.
life regressions where I have been buried alive.
Oh,
So
wow.
the tank is no bueno for me. That is not an option. Bob loves them. I do not do them. Not enough water. Like I want to move around. I don't want to just be in a capsule of water. I want to be floating and moving and flowing.
I want to know how the heck you got buried alive.
Oh, geez.
No, so one was a high priestess in Egypt,
Oh, wow.
and then one was I was a healer and deemed a witch, and they set my house on fire. Like I had a very clear vision of this huge. I had a child, and there was an escape hatch, and we went under the house, and they set the house on fire, and I survived, and my child didn't. Like I had a very clear vision of that. Like someone took me through it.
I did not think you were going to have an answer to that.
Oh, and I
That's
had
wild.
somebody else see me buried alive. Like I've had the vision of the high priestess. Well, I've had the vision of being buried alive, and I had someone else who had the vision and told me I was a high priestess.
Wow.
So yes.
Do you want to know something crazy? Is that I had a past life as well where I was deemed a witch. They were coming for me, had a baby, and I was running, and the baby died. And I had to keep going just for a little bit more. And then I died as well, but the baby first. So I'm wondering how many of us had that witchy past and reincarnated now to be able to heal so much of that trauma.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yes.
But back to the water, because we do have blue in your brand. is more of an anchoring, but I feel like we have the flow in your brand, which is very representational of the water too. So I do love all the curved edges that we have. Like, there are a few straight lines. So, and how perfect. You are not a straight line at all. It's
Yeah.
all flow and curves and just beautiful, like, movement. There's movement in your brand, and there's always movement in you. You're always moving. It's perfect. Yeah, no, I love that we've dialed in the water element, because I was wondering how that was going to come in. So we have the agents, the homeowners, the real estate offices.
Oh, so real estate offices. And then I just see some sort of community group or a civic group. And that is going to be about knowing your worth. Well, I've realized walking across hot coals, I realized the core is radical self-acceptance. Once you truly embrace and accept yourself exactly you are as you are in this moment, being authentic, being vulnerable, having the confidence to make mistakes, try things and they don't always work out, like it's the key to so much.
That right there, that my lightning bolt just
Right?
went off. I was like, that's it right there,
Me too.
Heather. As soon as you
Right?
have that radical self-acceptance,
Yeah.
the shame will be gone from the sellers and they will accept themselves as well. And it'll be a perfect reflection of each other.
I have been waiting. I knew that we had to record with you, because I'm like, there's going to be something. Mic drop. This is it. Radical self-acceptance ties every single element of your services together. Now I have the thread and the pulse of your brand. We're good. I got you from now.
And the like going back to love your home, heart and soul, if it's continued to be part of the brand, like if your home is yourself, like really loving yourself completely.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
And
So good.
sold could be sold, SOLD, or sold could be like your full, like the soul led, soulful, like the play on words, which doesn't always translate if people don't get where you're coming from, but I always love a good play on word.
For sure.
Right. I mean, at the very least, it invokes curiosity. And if we're doing that, we're already way ahead. I think if we could lead with radical self-acceptance as the pulse of the brand, we can create so many things around that. So the only thing I need from you now, just give me a really detailed list of the services, like just the boring, here's my services, so that I can kind of grow the user experience from there. I want to build the hub on the landing page so that the languaging hits the right people, but stays true to you. That's the tricky thing about languaging.
I hesitate with the word coach because I feel like that's so overused. Oh, actually, I do. I'll find it. So like a strategist, really more of a strategist, trainer, speaker, real estate buying and selling. And I still do like the energy work.
Yes.
You know, I like helping people create a space and shift the energy in their home. And that's also one of my talks is I've realized when I go in and I do an energy clearing, a lot of the times people got to fix their own energy. We don't want to say fix. So it all starts with balancing your own energy.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much, like if you just cleaned your house and you walk in with dirty shoes, the house is dirty. So we can clear the space, but if you're coming in carrying all this heavy things, whatever it may be, there's no point in clearing the space. Got to balance your own energy first.
And I was going to say quickly that it's not quite time to lean into the high priestess of real estate.
No.
That's not the brand yet. But I want it on the record that Alex Pauls thought of it, and that will be the next evolution, the high priestess of real estate. And it's going to be a pyramid and everything.
You always hear queen or princess or all these things. So yes, I am the priestess or goddess. Goddess is used a lot.
Oh, man.
That's awesome. That'll be the final iteration
worms.
of the brand.
Yes.
But
everything
for
you
now,
touch turns to gold.
We're bridging, right? We're bridging people from moving away from the old way of doing buying and selling into a new enlightened way for the new human that's evolving. And so I think you are this beautiful bridge. We're leading now with radical self-acceptance. once I get, actually, I would love to get a list of the talks that you do. Just send me the talks too, just so that I can get a really good idea of the feel of it. Also, they're going to have to be on your website, so I will need to have that. But now that we've done all of this, we got our big aha, or I got my big aha thing, but I think Alex did too. I think let's talk about quickly before we let you go, just the importance of having, and I'm going to word it so that Alex and I are now your brand guardians. We have been with you for the evolution of this brand. I love that we get to be the guardians because we come in with deep understanding and protection of, making sure that you're staying within this beautiful thing that you've created for yourself, but also a team, right? Because I mean, it's potential for you to grow your business and have other teams come in and be on brand. I think that's something I wanted people to know is get yourself brand guardians, people who, it's not just an agency, but people who care and want to grow with you and see you do the things that you're meant to do and understand your soul in a way that helps you evolve.
And before I worked with you, I went through many different people, and it was, how do I want to say it? Like, again, I don't know what I don't know for developing. It's more than just colors and a logo. So when I'm working with someone and I give them direction and they give me back exactly what I asked for, I'm great, but that's not it. And I don't know how else to explain what I want. So the two of you being able to have a conversation, and through that dialogue, just like me talking with somebody about buying a house, tell me more about what you want. So just through that conversation, your intuition and asking the questions to get that clear, full picture, it makes such a difference.
Appreciate that, because that's my superpower. And having other people share that back to me, is that it helps with the radical self-acceptance, right? Because we all have these moments of, do I really have this? Am I a little bit magical? I don't know.
I feel like our approach is very similar in the way we help clients in the, like we said, the intuition and the asking questions and trying to get the big picture. It's a very similar approach. I'm helping people in their home buying or selling journey, and you're helping people with their branding.
It's one of the things that we were talking about, and it's not an accident that we're talking to you today, Heather, because we were talking about this, and then we get this email from you, and we're like, oh wow, this is it. This is our sign. This is the sign. And when you were talking about this radical self-acceptance and getting rid of that, like shedding the imposter syndrome and almost being naked and just accepting the fact that you're naked in your powers, it's almost terrifying, especially when you're not, how do I want to explain it? You're not calloused yet.
There is a piece of, I see the opportunity, going back to opportunity, I see the piece for some of these segments to be quite expansive. And part of it is overwhelming in just, how am I going to get there? What do I need to do to get from here to there? And the way my brain works, I want to see all of the pieces and see this clear path, and realizing I just need to do, what can I do today to get me towards that? Chunking it down to very specific minutia is how I control, I don't want to say control, like focusing on the very basic step-by-step tasks is how I keep the overwhelm away. Because otherwise it is paralyzing. Like, oh my God, I'm launching this huge thing. Like, well, how do I do all these things?
That's what I love to do. I love to build the steps. I like to be the engineer of the steps that gets you from here to that crazy place that you've been dreaming about. And man, that fills my soul. I really love that.
And I feel like this is bigger than any of my dreams. I feel like I'm launching something beyond any of my comprehension.
Well, that's what, when you're bringing forward something you're pioneering. Someone hasn't done this before you and left you a guide. You are creating, you are in that. It's creative initiatory fire. Like, you're in it.
Yes.
You're going to be such an epic real estate agent in your next life.
Or a dog.
Or
It
a
has,
dog, yeah.
a full-time caretaker. You know?
There we go. Now we have brought it full circle back to
Full
the
circle.
dogs.
Me and Heather are going to be dogs in our next life. That's it.
Boy. I have to ask the question left by the last guest, and it's so
Yeah.
perfect. It's like the perfect question for you. How do you listen to your intuition?
Ooh, I get quiet.
Like in a deprivation tank.
No, that listen to all my anxiety. Really, when I am walking in nature or, water if there's the opportunity, but being outside or shutting down the distractions.
I think that's so key because we're all so distracted, which is why so many of us are so disconnected from our intuition.
Yes.
How does your intuition come in? What is it like? For me, it's like a seed. I'll get like a word, and then I got to like play with it and build around it.
Oh, so I get downloads that are not in the English language. So that's another way is writing. Like if I just start to write, things flow through, but I just have a knowing, like just all of a sudden it's there. The ideas or the whatever it is, it's there in my brain. It was like just this download, it's this drop. Here you go. This is for you.
That's me too. I have a knowing as well.
Yeah.
I think that if I had that power where you would see things, I would just die. Every time like I'm like in like this spiritual conversation and it's dark and it's nighttime, I'm like, please don't show up as an apparition. Can't handle it.
Every once in a while I'll get a whisper. It doesn't happen very often, but when that happens, it's like, ooh, I'm not paying attention, or like this is super important that you need to like, let's pull this thread and follow that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from people where they'll hear a voice, whether it's a loud one or a quiet one, but they'll hear a voice, and I'm like, oh, that's not me. So it's always, to me, it's always interesting what people's intuition, like how it comes through. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Like Kati says, the knowing as well. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I just knew. I get this little seed, and I have to play with it all day long and water it and figure it out, and I build around this seed all day long. So I guess that's kind of cool too.
Of course it is. That's your superpower, dear. And because you have so much earth in your chart, it's perfect that it comes in as a seed. There's no other way.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be nice to just know, but hey.
Well, don't worry about it. You marry somebody who knows.
Right.
There you go.
So Heather, what do you want to leave for the next guest?
How do you remove your blinders? How do you see the obstacles that you've gotten comfortable with?
Ooh, I like that.
And feel free to rephrase that any way you want.
I wonder, I mean, that's a good question just to ask yourself once in a while. It's like, am I like seeing the blind spots? Because you probably aren't. You probably go to other people to see blind spots. But if you could check in with yourself once in a while, that would be very helpful. I like that a lot.
Yeah, or anytime I feel resistance, it's like, okay, where is this coming from? What am I taking this to mean, or whatever? Why am I avoiding this?
Awesome. Well, I love where your brand is going. I love who you're becoming. I love the voice that's coming through and the vulnerability and the message. I love it all so much. I'm very excited to get into this for you.
I'm excited too.
The fact that it was just all meant to be. And it's so amazing how it's like, wow, we were talking about this. Heather emails, let's set this up. And then we have multiple amazing moments. And of course, we recorded it, which is so cool. Usually we don't record these things. So I'm so happy that we did. Kati convinced me that we're going to record it. And I think we got a lot of magic today. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to Kati and Heather, our special guest, Heather Schmidt. And where can people find you, Heather?
heatherschmidt.info.
There you go. Everybody go check Heather out at her website. It's beautiful, and it's going to be even more beautiful soon, thanks to my lovely wife. And yeah, we are going to see you guys on the next episode. So keep living your genius. We are going to have some amazing genius moments in season 2, and I'm just so excited. And this is the best way to start it. So thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.